So the guest is Dimitrios Buhalis, professor at the Bournemouth University. Please, sir, pre-recorded contribution. Thank you.
So, Dimitrios Buhalis, professor at Bournemouth University, but basically one of the most important and well-known expert in tourism and related matters. Thank you for having accepted this short interview. My first question is with your broad view. You also have a wonderful observation point being the editor of Tourist Review, which is one of the most reputable academic journals. So you have a wonderful platform for observing things. So what is your assessment of what is the condition of tourism today, mainly Europe, I would say?
Rodolfo, it has been really difficult. About almost 2 years now that we are not doing tourism around the world. It's really complicated. What we've seen is that Europe has opened earlier than many other places. As you know, I'm currently visiting professor in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong is effectively closed. To come to Hong Kong, I had to do 3 weeks of quarantine and 9 PCR tests.
Yeah.
So, and you need to be a local 9 PCR tests. Over a period of about 1 month. This is the condition. So effectively, it's closed for tourism. You can only arrive here if you're a local resident or if you've got a permission by the government to come and work here. In Europe, as you know, many countries depend on tourism, so they had to open much faster. And I think Greece, I'm very proud of Greece this time because Greece has done a fantastic job in opening early and managing quite well the pandemic and the protocols and everything else. It has been a disaster, and there's been a disaster for a long period of time, and I think we haven't seen the end of it. I'm just observing the United States is opening, and Australia had just announced it's going to open almost 600 days they've been closed. No. So what's going to happen is that gradually we're coming back. The UK model is quite interesting in the sense that it says, look, we've given you the vaccines to protect you. You know what to do in terms of covering up, and you know what to do in terms of keeping distances.
It's your problem if you don't.
Yeah. And it basically says, please sort out yourself because the economy cannot afford that anymore.
Yeah. So restart. From what you've seen, since we are restarting mainly in Europe and in Italy as well, I mean, this summer has been quite busy for many areas. Have you seen the operators preparing in some way for this restart or doing something, revising their strategies, their tools, and so on, or just sitting there waiting for something, complaining and things like that?
No, look, the operators are in a very desperate position. They've had a really difficult situation for a long period of time. They hadn't had the income for a long time, and they're absolutely desperate. I know from the Greek situation, because a lot of my Greek friends were asking me for advice on how we can help them redevelop. But I think anybody who is in terms of quite serious, what they've done is they spend quite a lot of time understanding the protocols and understanding what they've got to do in order to reopen tourism as soon as they could. I know the situation in Hong Kong, for example, the operators here, they've moved around the operations and they're doing staycation. They are selling their rooms for 1/3 of the normal price to local people. And for the first time, local people have the opportunity to go and stay in 5-star hotels at 1/3 of the price that they've got. So there's a degree of resilience all over the world of people trying desperately to reopen and develop the tourism industry because we've got to. But I think the major problem that we experience right now is human resources, and that's global. we find that we've lost quite a lot of people because the organizations could not keep them, and people started looking for alternative employment. And what you see all over the world is that most of organizations are absolutely desperate to find people to work for them. I know hotels and restaurants in London that they cannot open, or they operate in a reduced kind of capacity because they cannot have the staff. And I think the major challenge that we're going to have, and of course London had and the UK also has got Brexit, that we haven't seen the impacts of that yet.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is we really need to inspire the young people that they are coming through our schools, and I'm about to start a class here with many very young and very talented people. But we really need to make sure that tourism and hospitality provides a good career for them. We need to take advantage of the innovations that they're bringing in. We need to take advantage of their brain, and we need to ensure that in tourism and hospitality, we find people that are really, really clever and they can help us take us forward. And I think that's the thing that the industry needs to focus now, because there's a global shortage of human resources in tourism. And I've got colleagues from all over the world who are telling me this, because what happened is that people diverted to other industries. And they've realized that actually other industries may be better in terms of working conditions, and a lot of people are using their skills in terms of empathy, in terms of serving consumers, to actually go into insurance, in banking, in a lot of different kind of things, and logistics. Most of the logistics people, the delivery, people are primarily tourism hospitality. And I think that's the big thing. I think a lot of conversation is happening right now in terms of finance and investment. Is this a good industry to invest? And I think absolutely it's a good industry to invest, because what we have seen is that whenever tourism is allowed, people are flooding the gates. They're coming back, and there's something that's called the tourism revenge, which is people who say, look, we will travel double the amount of the travel we've done before, because we haven't seen family, we haven't seen friends, we haven't seen loved ones, or we haven't done things. And there's a lot of money sitting somewhere to be used. So
waiting to be spent on travel.
So what we've seen in China, what we've seen in the UK, what we've seen in many, many places, the minute the travel is allowed, people are going. But I think we also need to be very careful, because if you see what happened in Israel and now what's happening in the UK, COVID is not gone yet. And we're going to have a lot of people dying from COVID if we are not very careful. So we really need to be very, very careful how we reopen. But I think it's the opportunity, and I'm working here with colleagues about developing the Agenda 2030, to start looking on the long term towards 2030 and see what can we do to make sure that the tourism industry is successful and provides the fantastic working abilities for people, and provide sustainable development and good benefits for stakeholders with a 2030 kind of approach.
Yeah. Last question, which is especially for you. You've been a pioneer of the studies on the application of information technology to tourism. So in this period, we've seen an incredible growth of usage of all of these tools, because we were forced at home and couldn't do it without. So what is the role that the ICTs will be playing in the near future for tourism?
Well, I think technology is revolutionizing everything we do in tourism. I was just editing a paper on mixed reality and how mixed reality can help us co-create new experiences. I think what's going to happen is that it's going to change a whole range of things. And it's going to change from the consumer point of view, how consumers engage and interact with the environment and the destination and everything else. It will change the way that how we organize things, and it will change the way that we operate the entire ecosystem. I'll give you a couple of examples to kind of understand what I'm talking about. I think mixed reality is, how do I go to a place I know nothing about So let's say Llama Island that I would like to go, which is half an hour by boat from Hong Kong Island. How do I go to a place I've never been before, and how do I get to know and see the things that really interest me? So not the generic thing that the guide will offer, but we say, okay, what does Buhalis would like to explore in Llama Island? How can connect me with the local people and the local resources in order to be able to do it? So that's one thing. So it's augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality, all of those things coming together. The next thing's the artificial intelligence bit and the big data that's connected. Because what is increasingly happening is that we know a whole range of different things and we can customize, personalize, and contextualize the process in real time. That's really what excites me. It's the real time bit that really excites me, because the real time will enable us to bring the right product to the right customer at the right time, because the right time is really, really important. I mean, last weekend there is a typhoon here, and I started going out, and the people in the hotel stopped me and said, "Where do you think you're going? Have you not heard about the typhoon?" I said, "Yeah, I've seen bad weather before." They said, No, you don't go out. There are no buses going.
That's only bad weather.
Stop. Yes. So it's really about contextualizing the information. And if I don't go out of the hotel, what do? Do I stay in the hotel? Do I have dinner there, or is dinner coming to me? So that's a whole range of things. The third element is, how do we organize ourselves? I keep looking at Amazon and the robots that they've got, that they're managing different things. And I keep seeing how they are managing their assets in a very, very efficient way. And then I'm looking to tourism and hospitality, and nothing has changed in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
We really need to look into how can we change the tourism and hospitality operations, and what do we need to learn from these guys on how to operate in a clever way. And the last example I'm going to give you is that Tesco, the supermarket chain in England, and not only, had just created a shop that doesn't have cashiers. You don't have cashiers. You just go there, pick up what you want, and you leave the place. And
following the example of the Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. But what they do is they use sensors, they use monitors, they use apps, they use a whole range of things. So you are not going to stop for 15 minutes trying to take all your items out of the cashiers. And I think those innovations will be coming forward to us. And I think there's a range of technological cutting-edge solutions that will enable us to create tourism in a different way. Having said that, so far, the tourism industry has not adopted technology in the most clever way. We just want to go back into the old ways and keep doing the things that we've been doing for many, many years. Because most of the people in tourism are people's people. They would like to serve, they would like to welcome, they would like to do things like that. So I think we are in a situation where digitization has progressed for about 10 years in a short period of time, a year and a half.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many old people using applications to do banking, paying their tax.
People buying online that have never thought of getting something.
Exactly, and I think what that gives us is a range of innovations that they will be forced to us. Like I remember when I was coming to Italy towards the end of 1990, if you want to fly with EasyJet, you had to find out what EasyJet.com was, and you had to buy from there. And the Italians said, "What is
by
this?"
the way, those have been one of the most important pushers of technology.
Absolutely, and in particular in Italy, I remember 50 euros travel to London, EasyJet.com, nothing else. And I remember vividly in Milano, people asking, "What is this? What do I do?" And they were going to the travel agent. The travel agents would say, "Basta, I'm not going to serve you because I'm not having EasyJet on the GDS." And then, of course, clever travel agents, about 6 months later, they said, "Oh, you give me 5 euros and I book it for you online." It's not part of what I do, but I like the €5. Thank you very much, because I'm going to lose you as a customer. And this is the kind of innovation adoption that we are always struggling in this industry.
Yeah.
And somehow we need now the innovators to move forward, because those people who are not innovating, they're going to be left behind and they'll die, actually, because they are not going to be strong enough to survive the digitization challenge that we find forward. But I guess those who innovate, they'll have a fantastic opportunity to move the industry forward and take us to the next place.
Well, thank you very much, Professor, and hope to see you in person as soon as possible.
Grazie mille. Take good care. Hope to see you again very soon.
Yes.